Stu here with Raid Shadow Legends to go over Tayrel, the greatest champion that ever was back in the day. If you were here when Global launched happened, it didn't matter if you had legendaries, Bad Alcazars, Draco. Well, Draco wasn't good back then. If you had Draco, you wanted to just put him in the vault forever. He never saw the light of day. But you wanted a Tayrel. You wanted him for clan boss. You wanted him to do AoE decreased defense because back then all we had was a War Maiden. We had Abyss, but she didn't do it on 100%, and she's a legendary champion. She really wasn't played that much either. We just didn't have anybody. We didn't have the Stag Knights we have today. All the other champions that you can think about were not there. Decrease attack on that A1, we wanted that as well. Everything this guy could do, all based off of defense, we just wanted it. It was the most requested when I did summons, when I was playing the game. I didn't get him for a very long time. Took me so long to get this. We just didn't have any good champions back there. Let me know down below in the comments right now if you remember those days and if you had a Tayrel. If you were lucky enough to get one, or did you just have to settle? I mean, what kind of other options did we use? Remember, the dungeons only went up to 15 back then. They didn't go up to 20. Only up to 15. We had our Tay. So that means the spiders were different, right? The affinity was different because we had 15 was the max level. And then eventually when it went to 20, even still, we didn't have those type of champions. Tayrel was it. And for the clan boss, you needed this guy. You wanted that for the leader ability. You wanted the decrease attack. You wanted the AoE decrease defense to help out with that. It was just too amazing. Like there was nobody else. This guy back then was top tier. But since all that time, we don't ever talk about him much anymore. I don't see anybody really talking about how powerful, how strong he is. Sure, he doesn't have Altan's ability to where he'll give us increased defense to make him even stronger, right? Self-buff himself along with the team like Altan does. But he does the same, pretty much, it seems like he's always done the same amount of damage, and he's got so much utility. So if you have this guy, if you're not a big spender, if your account is limited, and you have a Tayrel, please remember how good this guy is. I hope you're using him. I hope he's just not sitting there and nobody's talked about it for years. And you're like, oh man, I wish I had some good champions. Because this guy, for progression, for anything, you just put him in lifesteal gear, give him War Master, and you just let him go. Give him enough speed, of course, so he can take some turns. It doesn't have to be too crazy, but this is exactly how we used to have to run spiders. Like this with a whole bunch of cold hearts in Tayrel. We didn't have any other options. There was nothing else really out there. Yeah, we have Ghostborn. We've had Ghostborn for I think for the whole entire time, but we didn't really have anything else. Nothing accessible, right? And people prayed for this guy. Whenever I used to do summons when I first started playing this game, that's what they prayed for every single time. And when we saw him, it was like seeing a Draco morph nowadays. It was really that much of excitement, that much of a game changer for their account. Because look at it. Look what he's doing right now. AoE decrease defense, that decrease, he can decrease turn meter on the, well, we didn't see it on the spider. So for the spider, he would do the AoE decrease defense, which would really help you out for just the spider in general, right? For your royal guards. And then he would come around on that A3 and deplete the turn meter of the spider by 50%, I think it is, on the A3. And if he does fully deplete a turn meter, obviously you can't do it on bosses, but if he depletes a turn meter, he will stun the target. So he's got a lot going for them. And if anybody does an AoE decrease attack up there on all your enemies, and then he does that A2, the AoE decrease defense, he can also put things to sleep. For an epic champion, he is pretty nuts. I mean, if you think about everything he does, if you go look at his abilities, his A1, his A2, his A3, even to today's standards, for what we see for epics, it's pretty crazy. Then on top of that, double that with him doing damage based off the defense and hitting extremely hard, it just makes for a wonderful champion. A wonderful champion. So again, if you have him and you don't have a lot of other champions, you're looking for somebody to use, somebody to level up, somebody that you will still use at in-game regardless of who you pull, unless you just start wailing and pulling in some amazing legendary champions, this guy can be the guy for you. We're going to two-man, of course, through Ice Golem here at the very end. Just go through here. We'll go look at his gear. I do have him in lifesteal. I've got him in 4-piece lifesteal, 2-piece speed, I guess. I think that's what I've got him in there. Lots of defense, critical damage gloves, critical damage neck. But for survivability, especially if you're just starting out, just defense all around. Get those speed boots, defense percentage gloves, defense percentage chest, defense for the ring and for the neck. I'm trying to think of all the defense things we have. And then accuracy for the banner. And then if you have to go with an accuracy, a 2-piece accuracy set, then go with that too to get accuracy up so that he can do If he can't do the debuffs, he's just not worth it. You got to get him in here doing all these debuffs. It's amazing. So we will two-man this Ice Golem. Let's skip ahead a little bit. So we'll see, okay, taking it down, go into the Ice Golem. Slow process, right? Very slow process. We have to take down both of the side minions and then go after the boss. Did we even get low? I'm not sure we even got low. I mean, these two are pretty decked out, but it's slow. I mean, a lot of times the Ice Golem, you can do a slow play like this where you're taking out the two side minions, and then you slowly take down the boss. Even with poisons, it's just going to be a really long run. Could be a 9-minute, 10-minute run. This, I think, is 7 minutes. So, and then we're getting the decreased attack up on the boss a lot, which really helps. But he doesn't have AoE decreased attack. That's only on the A1. There we go. So look this guy up. Honestly, if you have him and you've been sleeping on him, use him for progression in this game. He's amazing. Let's go look at his gear. High Elves, one of the best factions. I don't know nowadays. We got a lot of really good undead. We have great Dark Elves. There are a lot of good factions now. We've had so many champions added to the game. So I don't know if they can have the claim to fame to be the best anymore, because they haven't really been getting a lot of new additions that just blow us away. They've been going all to other factions out there. So you can go two-piece. Again, go two-piece accuracy here. You don't need to go two-piece speed. I just did that. Make sure you do always go speed boots, even for progression throughout this game. From beginning to end, speed boots on almost anything you do. Then we've got the defense percentage here. And don't worry, if you don't have accuracy, just go for defense. Go again for defense, because this can make him tankier, and he's still going to do more damage. And you, again, you can just go defense here, and you can go defense here. If he is falling over, like completely just getting hit and falling over, then give him some more HP, right? Always give more HP. Then we've got resistance for me. Now for me, I've got resistance on here because, and don't follow these stats, I'm trying to make this guy much better. The thing is, I want 300 resistance and I want 220 accuracy. Those are the kind of target points I want to get to for Faction Wars and for, you know, Doom Tower or anything else that I run through. I want 300 resistance and 220 accuracy. Now, if you can get close to that, if you're coming up and you can get 200 accuracy, that's fine. That'll work for you. And if you can get this kind of resistance, that'll work too. I mean, he's attacking so many times, I'm not too concerned about it. If I was going to throw this guy an Ultra Nightmare Clan boss, I would be worried. I'd get this up to 220 for sure then. But I'm not running him in that scenario. But you might be. You might be using this guy in your clan boss. And if you are, try to get up there, especially for Ultra Nightmare. For Nightmare, I don't know, 200, whatever it is. For Ultra Nightmare, 220 would be really good to get. Try to get that, and then just make him tanky as possible. Get some crit if you can, and some critical damage, and you're fine. And if not the critical damage, just put some more defense on him. And this guy will blow you away. I'm telling you, he will. Right now, I've just got him at War Master. And then because I was using him in a different area of the game, I just got a lot of things. I was using him in Faction Wars to try to two-man Faction Wars. So whenever I got a debuff up, I wanted to make sure we could try to drop it off. And then more resistance, more turn meter, and then also a chance to counterattack back. That way we could heal if we proc this War Master with our lifesteal gear. Which is actually, this is actually really good to have even coming up. Because when I was coming up on my new accounts, any kind of free-to-play accounts I had, I got Retribution, and I was counterattacking all the time. Because you take a pretty good amount of damage. Counterattacking all the time, and I had lifesteal gear and I had War Master on, and it just made it much easier. It really did. But that's all I've got for Tayrel. Let me know what you guys think about him. Do you still use him? Have you been sitting on him because you haven't heard about him for a year? But this guy is amazing, and he should always be played. Always be played. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I appreciate your time. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you all in a video soon.